Of you again, our loving and faithful friends. Welcome again to our health seminar. Uh, Before Dr. Frias speak to us, I will read James 5:14 to 16. James 5. Is any sick among you? Let him call for the elders of the church and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Lord. And the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Lord shall raise him up. And if he have committed sin, they shall be forgiven him. Confess your fault one to another, and pray one for another, that ye may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. Because we are dealing with sickness and diseases, these texts will be very helpful to us in order for us to ask for God's help. Shall we pray? Dear God, as Christ's follower, we strive to give love from a pure heart that does not require a person to love us perfectly in return. Please bless our listeners, bless our program, and bless Dr. Frias as he shared the benefits of being healthy. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Okay, we're gonna study about we're gonna continue our studies with the top 10 deadliest diseases. And this evening we're going to study about, but anyway, before I go to that, let's overview. When people think of the deadliest diseases in the world, their minds probably always jump to the fast-acting, incurable ones that grab headlines from time to time. But in fact, many of these types of diseases don't rank in the top 10 causes of worldwide deaths. An estimated 56.4 million people passed away worldwide in 2015, and 68% of them were due to diseases that progressed slowly. Perhaps even more surprising is that several of the deadliest diseases are partially preventable. Non-preventable factors include where a person lives, access to the preventive care, and quality of health care. These all incur into risk, or all these factors are risky, but there are still steps everyone can take to lower the risk. So this evening we're going to study the top 10 deadliest disease number 7, and that's dealing with Alzheimer's disease and other dementia. Let's go on. What is Alzheimer's disease? Alzheimer's disease is a type of dementia that affects memory, thinking, and behavior. Symptoms eventually grow severe enough to interfere with daily tasks. So there are 10 causes, at least 10 causes of Alzheimer's disease. And but before I go to that, those who have Alzheimer's disease experience memory loss and confusion and gradually get worse over time. It is a mentally debilitating disease that can be very emotionally taxing for the patients as well as friends and family. Unlike normal memory loss that may occur with age, Alzheimer's makes it difficult for patients to live healthy, active lives. Much research has been done into what causes the Alzheimer's disease as well as how to prevent and treat it. Now, as I've mentioned, there are at least 10 causes of Alzheimer's disease. One is head trauma. Hundreds of thousands of concussions occur annually due to sports injuries, due to car accidents, and other mishaps. While most people heal quickly for some, a head trauma of any kind can lead to chronic inflammation and permanently damage brain tissue. In these circumstances, head injuries can lead to an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. This development is because the cells in the brain are too busy dealing with inflammation issues to protect the brain from a buildup of protein that cause the disease. To protect yourself from injury, it is important to wear proper protective gear in situations where head trauma may occur and seek immediate medical attention if a head injury does occur. That's why it's advisable that you should wear at least a helmet when you go biking, when you when you engage yourself in some sport that might hurt, that your head might get hurt or might bump into something. Perhaps, or people with Down syndrome. Number two is Down syndrome. People with Down syndrome are at an increased risk of development Alzheimer's disease also. According to scientists, Down syndrome is a condition that results in development and health issues due to an extra 21st chromosomes. Research believe that the emotional chromosome also can lead to dementia and the development of Alzheimer's as the patient ages. Typically, people with Down syndrome will begin to show the symptoms and signs of Alzheimer's at a much earlier age than the average patient. For those with dementia syndrome, dementia and memory loss is one of the most common complications of getting older. And number three is that mild cognitive impairment. Alzheimer's disease is more likely to be likely in people who experience mild cognitive impairment earlier in life. Mild cognitive impairment is often diagnosed in people as they age and may develop Alzheimer's later on. Patients with mild cognitive impairment may have difficulty remembering recent conversations or appointments, or might feel incapable or making good complex decisions. This issue typically manifests in ways that you or those around you can see, such as missing a deadline or asking the same question twice in a short amount of time, but does not prevent you from living a normal life. Over time, many causes this mild cognitive impairment evolve into Alzheimer's disease. And number four cause of it, poor heart health. Those with poor cardiovascular health are also at risk to develop Alzheimer's disease later on in their lives. One reason for this is that many of the same factors that impact whether or not your heart is healthy or have an effect in your mental health. More importantly, though, for the brain to properly function, it needs adequate support from your heart. If you have cardiovascular issues on your heart and isn't healthy, your brain may not get the blood flow and oxygen it needs to function properly. To reduce the risk, you should make sure you live a lifestyle that promotes good cardiovascular health and see a doctor to treat any heart-related health issue. Number five cause is the lack of education or lack of mental stimulation. One way to keep your brain functioning properly is to keep it working hard. Researchers have linked low education levels to Alzheimer's disease. This link doesn't mean you need a college degree to avoid Alzheimer's, but it is good reason to practice continuing education skills throughout your life. As you get older, consider finding enjoyable ways to stimulate your mind mentally. Many colleges often offer free or discounted courses for seniors, and working part time after retirement may provide similar benefits. Even playing educational games or reading can keep your brain active, which will help to decrease your risk of developing Alzheimer's. This is also the reason why we are motivated to do this online ministry because it keeps our minds active, reading and doing research and working on something, because that is also one way of preventing Alzheimer's disease. Another cause of Alzheimer's disease is the lack of social stimulation. Similarly, researchers have found that social stimulation is just as important as mental stimulation. Interacting with friends and families has been proven to have many health benefits, and one of those benefits is a reduced risk of Alzheimer's disease. By conversing and spending time with people you care about, you keep your mind active. If you don't have many friends or your family lives too far away to spend time with regularly, you can still seek social stimulation. Consider visiting a community or senior center, joining a club or non-benefit group, or even getting a dog to care for. And then number 7, poor lifestyle choices. Everyone knows smoking is bad for your lungs and heart. But did you know that it can also increase the risk of developing Alzheimer's disease? In addition to smoking, many other lifestyle factors can impact your mental health later on in life. These include eating poorly and choosing not to exercise, which can lead to obesity, and as excessive alcohol consumption. These factors exacerbate, many emotional or many conditions, and Alzheimer's is no exception. It's no exception. So your best bet is to develop a plan for a healthy lifestyle and stick to it. Quitting smoking and losing weight will both help decrease your risk level. So your lifestyle also, poor lifestyle can cause Alzheimer's disease, lack of exercise, smoking, drinking alcohol, and also poor quality of food that you're eating. Another cause of Alzheimer's disease is the consistent lack of sleep. For those with a busy life, it may be possible to get 8 hours of sleep, or it might be possible to get 8 hours of sleep per night, or even 6 to 7 hours. However, it is important that you try to get a good night's sleep or often as you can. Failing to get enough rest can speed up the development of Alzheimer's disease. In addition to changes in your brain chemistry, lack of sleep can contribute to causing some of the other risk factors such as cardiovascular disease and obesity. To preserve your health, consider reducing your daytime responsibilities and giving yourself more time to sleep at night. So lack of sleep. And number 9, genetics and family history. One of the most common causes of Alzheimer's disease is genetics. For example, researchers believe that early onset Alzheimer's is usually an inherited condition. However, even if a parent or sibling has the disease, it does not mean you will develop it yourself. If it does run in your family, you should take care to limit avoidable risk factors like smoking. Limit you have to watch your weight, obesity, or lack of mental and social stimulation. Preventative measures will limit your chances of exacerbating and speeding up development of Alzheimer's disease. even if you are genetically predisposed to it. If you have concerns about developing Alzheimer's due to your family history, you should talk to your doctor so he might be able to suggest some ways on how to prevent it. And number 10, getting older. The overwhelming majority of Alzheimer's disease cases occur in older patients, while about a small percentage of cases involve younger patients. Most people with Alzheimer's are over the age of 65. In addition to the effects of age or in the brain, other health problems, increased isolation can contribute to a higher risk of developing the disease in old age. At times, it can seem difficult to distinguish between age-related changes in memory and brain function and the onset of Alzheimer's. However, Alzheimer's is a much more severe condition that goes beyond temporary lapses in memory, and it requires additional care. There are 10 signs of Alzheimer's. One is memory problem. If you're experiencing memory problems, you're always forgetting things, that's a sign that you might be developing Alzheimer's disease. Number 2, disorientation. You cannot concentrate on things. For example, you're driving and you would like to exit in a certain street, Major Mackenzie, and suddenly you already passed 2 or 3 exits. You forgot, you lost track of, you lost your focus suddenly, and you were disoriented, or you went to a wrong exit, or you go into a place. There was one time at the house, somebody knocked at my door, somebody that I knew, it's a friend of mine. He knocked at my door, and then he came inside. I let him in, and we talked. We watched news on TV. We were sitting together. After about an hour of talking, sitting together, this guy asked me, this guy said, oh, why did I come anyway? What was the reason why I came? He did not know the reason why he came to our house, knocked at my door, and sat down and talked to me. That is a sign of disorientation. You should be careful when you start experiencing that. You should go and check with your doctor, because you might be developing Alzheimer's disease. And number 3, withdrawal from work or social activities. One early indication of Alzheimer's is an individual's increased withdrawal from work and social activities. This may be due to the realization that these projects are becoming more difficult to complete, or withdrawal could be more subconscious due to the decreased motivation. You might be losing motivation in certain things that you're doing. Number 4, trouble with comprehension. Alzheimer's disease diminishes comprehension, is showing problem solving abilities, and causing confusion or commonplace situations. Furthermore, vision impairment can adversely affect the individual's ability to read, judge distances, and determine colors. Over time, one's grasp of abstract notions weakens. Numbers may become difficult to understand, as may social interactions in general. Problems in speech and writing. Since Alzheimer's diminishes the brain's ability to comprehend and make associative, deductive problems with speech and writing manifest over time. People struggle with vocabulary. Sometimes they sort of stammer, finding increasingly difficult to find the right words for all sentences. It is common for those with Alzheimer's to stop halfway through a conversation, unsure of how to continue. In advanced stages, one's language may become convoluted and hard for others to understand. People with Alzheimer's may also find alphabets and scripts undecipherable. Also, poor judgment. People with Alzheimer's often have diminished sense of judgment. They may make uncharacteristic, or unintelligent decisions. Those who remain living on their own may spend or invest money frivolously. They could become targets of these people who want to extort money from them or try to get money in an illegal way. They may begin sharing confidential information with um, absolute strangers and lose the ability to drive safely. Uh, these symptoms these symptoms can also affect grooming and self-care, with individuals losing interest in basic hygiene habits. These symptoms can especially affect people who have developed other physical limitations due to advanced age. Another is changes in mood and personality. Alzheimer's alters the balance of chemicals in their brain, and this results in behavioral changes, including depression and mood swings. Some individuals become irritable and aggressive as the disease progresses. Most patients tend to withdraw from and lose interest in social interaction and may become stubborn or uncooperative in interacting with them, especially if they become paranoid. Many become preoccupied with thinking someone has stolen their property. uh, as the disease progresses, interactions become increasingly difficult. That's why we have to be understanding, especially with older people, because sometimes they may be developing Alzheimer's disease and their mood changes suddenly. They become irritable or they become moody. And if we do not understand them, we will get upset with them. And it's not right to do that because we do not know how people feel and what their situations are. That's why we should always be understanding and loving to other people. Agitation. It is quite common for a person with Alzheimer's to be agitated and anxious much of the time. Fear, fatigue, and confusion can stem from their diminishing ability to understand the world around them. As it becomes more difficult for them to communicate their needs, they may lose patience quite easily. Making the move from one house to a care home can be an especially frightening situation for these people. Difficulty with familiar tasks. It often takes individuals with Alzheimer's longer to complete even simple day-to-day tasks. Thus, can be due to a combination of lost reasoning skills, declining physical ability, and lack of concentration. Often, the person becomes frustrated and angry about this, which can further interfere with task completion. And number 10, difficulty in communicating. Alzheimer's can make an individual lose their train of thoughts in the middle of conversation. This, combined with decreasing vocabulary and reasoning skills, can make communication more and more difficult. People with Alzheimer's often begin using the wrong words to describe people or things, which can make conversing uh, with them very confusing. Some people resort to hard hand gestures rather than words in an attempt to make their meaning known. Now, here there are some foods that may slow or prevent Alzheimer's disease. Pay attention to this because it might be helpful to you. To prevent Alzheimer's disease, here are the following suggestions of food that we must eat. One, spinach and other leafy vegetables. Look for leafy vegetables and especially spinach, because consuming them about 6 servings per week of spinach and other leafy greens such vegetables such as kale, collard greens, broccoli, and turnip and mustard greens could have a positive impact on future mental health. These vegetables often offer a wealth of nutrients, including vitamins A, E, and C, deficiency of which may be linked to an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. These vitamins help fight oxidative stress, a factor in the death of the brain. Leafy greens are also a rich source of folate, a type of B vitamin linked with brain health. Number two, champagne. Champagne also, limited consumption of champagne could reduce mental decline. Animal studies suggest champagne, uh, pinot meunier, and pinot noir and grapes produce specific beneficial uh, phenolic and phenolic during fermentation. These compounds can alter proteins responsible for memory storage in the brain. Keep in mind that these studies were carried out in animals and do not necessarily apply to humans. The amount of champagne was equivalent to a human drinking 1 or 3 glasses weekly. Talk to your doctor before drinking alcohol because it might not be good for you also, or whatever beliefs you might have, especially if you have other medical problems. Number three, berries. These superfoods, which also include acai berries, are packed with antioxidants, acai berries especially. According to the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease, they may help reduce the buildup of plaque in the brain, which is believed to be a key factor in the development of Alzheimer's. Some research also links antioxidant-rich blueberries with improvements in brain function and memory in older adults. Go nuts for nuts. That's number four. Preliminary research showed that omega 3s, omega 6, and vitamin E, folate, vitamin B6, and magnesium in almonds, cashews, hazelnuts, peanuts, pecans, and walnuts could help prevent Alzheimer's disease. The bulk of animal studies revolved around walnuts and mice with form of Alzheimer's that causes memory loss, physical motor decline, and anxious behavior. These groups of mice were fed their normal diets with two groups receiving walnuts and different amounts. Both walnuts eating groups slowed improvement in all areas of their disease. Coffee and caffeine. While the jury is still out of the health benefits of coffee overall, studies show it may aid in the prevention of Alzheimer's. The stimulant could delay the onset of dementia in seniors already showing signs of the disease by blocking brain inflammation and consequently reducing cognitive decline. Additionally, administering 200 milligrams of caffeine improved memory test results in test subjects when compared to uncaffeinated control group. But you have to control the coffee also because that is also addictive. You could get used to drinking and you might be drinking too much, not good for you also. But anyway, dark chocolate. Flavonoids in dark chocolate are known to have many health benefits also, including improved circulation and reduced risk of heart disease. And those same flavonoids may also help fight off dementia. An Italian study credits dark chocolate with improving results in cognitive tests on adults demonstrating early signs of mild dementia. Improvements were apparent as little as 2 months after the subjects began drinking high flavonoid dark chocolate. Turmeric is also very important. Adding turmeric to dishes or drinking turmeric tea could have considerable benefits on mental wellness. Turmeric is a popular natural health choice, and recently researchers from UCLA found at the University of California in Los Angeles, they found a combination of vitamin D3 and turmeric can reduce brain plaque associated with Alzheimer's disease. However, this research task placed in a laboratory using human immune cells rather than live humans. More research is needed to confirm these findings. Still, turmeric is a tasty way to spice up dishes while possibly getting health benefits. Fatty fish. Research showed that fish high in omega-3 fatty acids, such as mackerel, sardines, and salmon, may play a role in preventing Alzheimer's disease. Omega-3s and omega-6 are well recognized in the field of brain health. So it is not too surprising that consuming around 8 ounces per week could improve brain function. And cinnamon. Numerous animal studies showcase cinnamon's ability to improve memory and cognitive functioning and to reduce also the buildup of protein plaque associated with Alzheimer's disease. Cinnamon seems to have such healing potential that even the scent alone can improve memory thought. You must ingest it to enjoy its inflammatory benefits. Other benefits also are eating lots of vegetables. Vegetables are an essential component of uh, the mind, diet component for the mind. So it is not surprising that eating an abundance of them correlates to brain health. Studies link greater consumption of flavonoids, natural compounds in some fruits and vegetables with a lower risk of gives a lower risk of Alzheimer's disease. Good vegetables sources of flavonoid include onions, kale, romaine lettuce, cabbage, and tomatoes. What are the worst food for your brain? Now we'll go to the worst food for your brain. One of them, top of them all, is French rice. Because of the way they're cooked, people love their French rice. Therefore, it is definitely, but it's definitely a downer to find this food in our list. Uh, uh, Actually, it's one of the worst food to eat. French rice. It is prevented for many other diseases, not only Alzheimer's. So you should try to get away from French fries. Maybe eating potatoes, which is not cooked as French rice, might be okay. And also, so there's French rice, number one. Hot dogs, that's another one. What would a baseball game in a stands without a hot dog to enjoy between innings? According to the medical community, hot dogs, while they taste great, are not great for your overall health, and certainly not for your brain. In particular, hot dogs are the kings of processed meats. Processed meats are loaded with horrible uh, additives like preservatives, an abundance of salt and sugar, and have even dyes. Your taste buds might fancy a lot of a hot dog with relish, but your brain does not. Eating hot dogs and other processed meats are associated with an increased risk of brain tumors. The nitrates contained in hot dogs are also uh, linked to various types of cancers like leukemia. It is a good idea to eliminate this food from your diet. So get rid of hot dogs. White rice. Studies have demonstrated that some types of carbs can negatively impact our mental health. High glycemic foods like white rice are linked to an increased risk of depression. These studies have demonstrated that diets high in refined carbs can lead to feeling of fatigue, mood swings, and symptoms of depression. Eating brown rice instead is a health option. If you can't live without white rice, you should do your best to reduce your intake. when you do eat this food, be sure to pair it with leafy green vegetables and legumes to help combat the rice adverse mental effects. So white rice. Tuna. People who love sushi do not want to hear about tuna's negative effects on the body. But the news is evident. Tuna, particularly canned tuna, is associated with mercury. Tuna like uh, big eye and albacore may have healthy fats to offer our diet, but their high mercury content can spell trouble for our cognitive function. Mercury and other heavy metals can specifically or significantly impact brain health, so we must strive to eliminate and certainly reduce them from our diets. While tuna has lots of mercury, other types of fish do not. As you lower your tuna intake, try to eat more fish like wild salmon and trout. They are better. And diet soda. Turn your, refuse to drink diet soda. According to recent article in Forbes, diet soda has been linked to increased risk of stroke and dementia. Especially the medical researchers have suggested that it is the artificial sweeteners or diet soda that can lead to the development of these serious conditions. Researchers have also noted that since diet sodas can affect healthy bacteria levels in our digestive tract, it can also impact the work of neurotransmitters, which is essential to healthy brain function. Of course, sugar drinks aren't good for your mental and physical health either. But as more research is conducted, diet soda is looking more and more like a villain to be avoided. So look at diet soda, diet coke, all those diet things, and then the also the artificial sugar. You should try to get rid of them. Fast food burgers. We all know that fast food isn't ideal for our health, but millions continue to enjoy it. Laden in salt and preservative, deep fried, and loaded with unhealthy fats, your favorite fast food burger isn't doing your overall health any good, but it's likely detracting from your brain health too. Eating a diet that includes a high intake in fast food can lead to the development and symptoms of anxiety and depression. Moreover, many people have experienced periods of hyperactivity after eating fast food, owing to the types of preservative that could be included in their meal. Although these fast food burgers might contain some protein, the fat in the burger and in the processed nature of the buns do not do more harm to your brain and body than the good. Cheese. Cheese plays a significant role in the diets all over the world, but this food could be compromising brain health. Unsurprisingly, cheese is loaded with saturated fats. Diets that are high in unhealthy fats correlate with increased risk of reduced memory and increased inflammation. These fats can also injure the hypothalamus, which helps regulate body weight. A damaged hypothalamus can increase a person's risk of obesity. Reducing your cheese intake, therefore, is a significant way to protect your brain functionality. Caffeine. Offer your coworkers decaf coffee or on a Monday morning, and you're likely to be shown the door. Too many caffeine, too many caffeine in like mother's milk, but it can be hurting your brain. Caffeine is a stimulant so that it can give your mind a jolt. Too often, however, people rely on this jolt to feel energized. With most stimulants, however, there is a crash. Once your caffeine boost wanes, your energy levels can tank, which often prompts people to take in more caffeine, which leads to a vicious cycle of jolt and crash. When too much caffeine is consumed, it can make you feel shaky and nervous. It can also exacerbate anxiety. If you're suffering from mood disruption, you might want to assess your caffeine intake and consider cutting back substantially or maybe getting rid of it. Microwave popcorn. Get rid of microwave popcorn. Battery, trans fat laden microwave popcorn can have negative effects to your brain. Studies have shown that diets that are loaded with unhealthy fats have a negative impact on memory. Although many worry about the chemicals in the steam we breathe upon the opening of the pop bag of microwave popcorn in terms of lung health, it appears that the convenient snack can negatively impact our brain's ability to comprehend and process information. Instead of using these microwave bags, consider popping your own corn to enjoy so that you can have full control over the ingredients and add it up. So just cook your own popcorn. You don't have to buy this microwave popcorn because they're very risky for you to take, and it's very damaging to your brain. Donuts. Donuts are among the world's foods that you can eat for your body and your brain. Donut among the worst food. I mean, yeah, worst. So pretty well with your frosting and sprinkles. These lovelies have a dark side with these saturated fats and sugar. The saturated fats in donuts can actually damage the blood-brain barrier. Because donuts are loaded with cholesterol, they can help pave a path to cardiovascular disease. High blood cholesterol levels have been linked to the development of Alzheimer's disease and can prevent the brain from getting the important nutrients it needs for optimum health. Finally, as if that wasn't bad enough, the high sugar contents of donuts and other sweets can lead to memory problems and cognitive deficiencies. Now, of course, Alzheimer's disease and other dementias here, the loss of memory, but you might not think of it as a loss of life. Alzheimer's disease is a progressive disease that destroys memory and interrupts normal mental functions. These include thinking, reasoning, and typical behavior. Alzheimer's disease is the most common type of dementia. 60 to 80% of dementia cases are in fact Alzheimer's disease. The disease starts off by causing mild memory problems, difficulty in recalling information, and slips in recollection. Over time, however, the disease progresses and you may not have memory of large periods of time. A 2014 study sorry, found that the number of deaths in United States due to Alzheimer's may be higher than reported. The risk and prevention of Alzheimer's disease include being older, more than 65 years old, a family history of the disease, inheriting genes from the disease of your parents, and existing mild cognitive impairment. And unhealthy lifestyle also. If you're a female, you have more chances of getting Alzheimer's than males. Previous head trauma, or being shut off from a community, or having poor engagement with other people for extended periods of time. there is not currently a way to prevent Alzheimer's disease. Researchers aren't clear why some people develop it and others don't. As they work to understand this, they're also working to find preventive techniques. One thing that they may be helpful in reducing your Alzheimer's disease is a heart-healthy diet. So, like suggested in all the other diseases, a heart-healthy diet like fruits, grains, nuts, vegetables, and legumes, they're the best diet to prevent not only Alzheimer's disease, but many other diseases. A diet that is high in fruits and vegetables, low in saturated fats from meat and dairy, and high in sources of good fats like nuts, olive oil, and lean fish may help you reduce your risk of more than just heart disease. They may protect you from brain diseases too. So let us remember that these
I thank God for His love. I thank God for His peace. I thank God for His grace and for all the joy He brings. I thank God for His strength. I thank God for His power. I thank God for His truth. His mercy sees me through. I thank God for my life. I thank God for my home. I thank God for my friends and that I am not alone. I thank God for this world. I thank God for the sky. I thank God for
so much for that beautiful music. I hope all right. I that's Serena, the one who sang that song. Anyway. I hope that you have benefited from that presentation. I'm sorry, I apologize a little bit for speaking a little bit and trying to go through it too fast because I had about 60 slides there. So I know that I thought we're going to go more than 1 hour to do it, but I tried to share as much information as I can with you because this is a very important subject. If we can prevent having Alzheimer's, it's a big blessing to us because when you have Alzheimer's, it's hard. Somebody with Alzheimer's disease has to be watched and supervised maybe 24 hours a day. I know this person who had Alzheimer's, and this wife who had Alzheimer's cannot even recognize her husband. One time, because the husband was always with her, trying to supervise her, guide her because she had Alzheimer's. But one time she was looking for something, and when people asked, "What are you looking for?" I'm looking for a knife, and I asked why. Because I would like to stop this guy always following me, and she's talking about her husband. So it could be dangerous also. So if we just observe all those information that we have received this evening on how to avoid Alzheimer's disease, and if we will succeed avoiding it or preventing it, then it will be a big blessing for us. Because a lot of people get it, especially in their older age. So we have to protect the head very, very well, as much as we can, not to hit it. And if we are involved in some sports that we might have a risk of hitting our head somewhere, then it's not. We have to be very careful. And another thing, we have to watch our weight also, because if we become overweight, as mentioned there in the lecture, that we could be a candidate for Alzheimer's disease. We should exercise, all the necessary things that has to be done. And we should get rid of or avoid the fast food, like mentioned there, the French fries or hot dogs, especially when we're in a hurry, we try to tend to buy burgers or just hot dog just to fill us up, but they're not good. You might as well just cook food at home and bring it to your work instead of going to these fast food chains to eat. Or get rid of caffeine, get rid of salt. Like I told my wife, throw away the salt shaker. That's why we try not to use salt in the house anymore. And instead of salt, you have to use we use lemon. Use lemon instead of salt. Even the calamansi in the Philippines is even probably tastes better than just lemon for our food or seasoning. And also sugar. Get rid of too much sugar. So these are very important information. But the most important thing, if we go back to the basics, eat the basic normal food that God has suggested right from the very start, which is fruits, nuts, grains, vegetables, and legumes, then we might not be able to, we will be able to avoid or prevent not only having Alzheimer's disease, but we could also prevent many other diseases even all these 10 worst deadly diseases, we can prevent all of them if we just follow the lifestyle that God has suggested to us. That's why we should trust that manual that God gave us, which is this holy book, the Bible. This manual is very important. Oh, it's very heavy. This manual here, this the book. It seems very hard to read because this is a very big one. But if you got the normal Bible, it's not that big. And if you can read many other books, you should read this book, the manual, because it gives us so much information about the start things. Remember the word new start: nutrition, exercise, water, and then sunshine, temperance, air, rest, and trust in God. You remember the letters in the new word that stands for all the necessary things that we must get involved in order to be healthy. That is a very good way and formula for preventing not only Alzheimer's, but all these 10 different deadly diseases. To end, shall we bow our heads for prayer? Father God, thank you so much for the time that we have spent together again this evening in the study of how to be healthy and how to avoid and prevent these deadly diseases. Please bless all of us. May the information that we have shared this evening be profitable and be beneficial to all those who have listened and all those who will still listen as our friends will share them to other people. Help us to be able to avoid and prevent these diseases. I know that we are living in an imperfect world because of sin. There are so many sickness and diseases that are coming out. Even this COVID-19 is a new kind of disease again that was discovered. So I pray, dear Father, that you will intervene in our lives, especially for those who trust in you. And please prevent us from having these diseases so that we'll be healthy and be able to be active. Our parts of our body will all be active so we can think about you in a normal way and to try to put all our trust in you. We ask now that you bless all of us as we separate from each other. Please dismiss us now with your blessings. We ask all this favor. In Jesus' holy name I pray.